Find me in the garden. When we die, we don't go to heaven or hell or even some void, as many atheists think. At least I didn't. It was some number of years ago. I can't remember exactly how long. This place has a way of making time meaningless to recount. Maybe that's the death talking, though. Why keep time when you have nowhere to be? When you'll never have anywhere to be. Anyways, my wife and son and I were crossing a street when someone forgot what a stop sign was. I'm sure you can guess what happened next. It wasn't painful, not physically nor emotionally. In fact, I can almost recall being proud. I think I was telling the line when I pushed my son from the road. I'd use a name, but it's been too long. The next thing I remember was being on an ambulance facing up. It was quiet. The son I saved as my last action stood close enough for me to know he was there, but not for me to see him. The same goes for my wife. The paramedics were visible though. Masked, generic faces blocked what I thought was the white light I'd heard so much about. It's funny how that works. I remember common rules and egregious violations easily, but the only memorable things about the last humans I saw is how forgettable they were. That's not their fault, though. Over the past few years, or decades, I've taken great care to only relive unambiguously joyous memories. None involving family fit that requirement. None did. But a strength of the human mind is its power to distort the past. As you have or may soon come to see, it does one good to fully give in to that power. If you're new, you may, like I did, feel some sense of duty to yourself or imagine to others to preserve the truth. There was never truth. Even in life, your brain was a bundle of impressions concerning yourself, maybe some skills, routines, or domain knowledge. But truth, how you relate to the world, the nature of the human condition and how humanity expressed it on a macro and micro level, it never existed. Stop thinking like a mortal. You're here now. Let go. I ramble. If you're reading this, you've arrived in what I call the garden. Welcome. You have no need to worry. As I write this, I'm sitting on the white bench overlooking the pre- or post-historic plants. Of course, I can't say what time period everything is from with much precision. I wasn't a botanist, but a philosopher in life. I studied the ethics of stories, both real and imagined, for the benefit of both curious lay people and future policymakers. If I wasn't struck, I would have likely become an official advisor, as I was already an unofficial one of sorts. Come to think of it, the car's windows weren't just tinted, they were black, and the driver didn't leave the car. Again, I ramble. The days don't end here, and neither do the nights. You are not hallucinating. Constant spiral of day and night nourish all states of mind for all creatures that end up here. That also goes for every non-living feature found in multiple environments. It's impossible not to flourish here, even if it is to grow. Near the bench on which I write this, there is a pond that is also an ocean. It contains all the creatures of the Cambrian, as well as the odd freshwater fish I remember going extinct. They were wonderful to watch before their patterns became predictable. I wonder sometimes if they are like me, but are unable to realize it. When I first arrived, I ate like they do. I thought I was hungry. I bit into fruit or the tail of that feathered lizard which likes to eat beetles on branches. I initially thought it was foolish to trust me, but I still regretted causing it pain. I tasted nothing but pressure on my teeth. It was not worth the experiment. I followed it for what felt like hours until it succumbed to its injury. It fell down, went into a breathless sleep, and I cried because I was still thinking like a mortal. What else was there to do but cry, especially when appropriate? I kneeled over what I had done until my tears dried, and then it happened. Without warning or build up or even so much as a sound, the carcass popped out of existence. It did not fade, the erasure was instantaneous. Then a shrill came from behind me. I turned and found the lizard gliding into my hair. It seemed to have no memory of what I had done to it. Instead of learning to fear me, it only finished its search for insects on me. There was no longer blood around nor on me to suggest danger, and I didn't care to remind it. Its inquisitive scratches felt nice on my scalp. It still does from time to time, but I wonder, does it taste? I have since stopped eating, but it hasn't. Sometimes I watch it find the termite and gobble it. It always shrills afterwards. It always seems disappointed. I ramble again. You don't need to eat. You don't need to drink. You need only exist in the garden. Observe the red flowers in constant bloom and the nature buzzing by it until it bores you. You can do whatever you like. But before deciding which tree to go mad under, visit me. I haven't gone mad yet, but I'm scared.